You know, when you get to the book of Revelation, it's just filled with these wild, terrifying images. And one of the most cryptic, a beast that crawls out of a bottomless pit to attack God's own messengers. But what if we've been looking at this beast all wrong? Let's dig in and actually follow the clues the text gives us.
Right here, Revelation 11:7. This one line tells us everything and nothing. It lays out the fate of God's two final witnesses. It's just bone-chilling. And that source of evil, the abyss, people have been guessing what that means for centuries.
So what are we dealing with here? Is it some, literal monster climbing out of a pit deep in the earth? Or, and this is the interesting part, could the Bible itself be leading us to a totally different and frankly way more shocking answer? That's the puzzle we're going to piece together.
Okay, so to solve this, we're not going to start at the end with Revelation. Nope. We have to go way back. We're heading deep into the ancient history of Israel. Because, you see, to get a handle on this beast from the abyss, you first have to understand what was going on with the very people it was coming for.
And look, this is going to sound pretty wild, but it's a theme you see again and again in the Old Testament. The spiritual rot wasn't just, bowing down to some statue made of wood or stone. The biblical writers frame this as a direct partnership with demonic forces.
And I'm not just speaking metaphorically here. The text gets specific. It uses a Hebrew word, shadim. It's not ambiguous at all. It means demons or non-gods. These were the actual beings that Israel was sacrificing to.
And the proof? It's right there in black and white. It's not hidden. You see this charge in the law. You see it in the Psalms. Deuteronomy straight up says they sacrificed to shadim. And then Psalm 106, man, it takes it to a whole other level. It says they sacrificed their own sons and daughters to these same demons.
And if you thought that was bad, hold on. There's another word they use that's even more graphic. The word is se'irim. It literally means goat demons or hairy ones. And this term is tied to a kind of idolatry the Bible calls spiritual prostitution. Yeah.
Look at this verse from Leviticus. It couldn't be more direct. It's not just saying don't do this. It's defining what they're doing. Worshipping these goat demons? The text says flat out that it's prostitution. So this isn't just about being unfaithful in a general sense. They were actively giving themselves over to these dark powers.
So you have to ask, what's the consequence of all this? When a nation goes that far down the rabbit hole, what happens? Well, the Bible shows a direct link between the people's corruption and the health of their land. See, the covenant promise wasn't just about the people, it was about the land too. And the prophet Hosea just nails this connection. God is speaking about Israel like an unfaithful wife, and he threatens to take away all her gifts, to turn her into a desert, a barren wasteland. Her spiritual cheating literally causes the physical land to die.
Now, a wasteland, it doesn't just stay empty, right? In the ancient world, a desolate place was seen as the territory of unclean things, jackals, hyenas, creatures of the night. And these weren't just animals. No, they were powerful symbols of chaos, of creation being undone, and of evil taking root.
And this isn't some vague, poetic threat. The prophet Jeremiah points the finger directly at Jerusalem. Think about that. Jerusalem, the holy city, the one place on earth for the worship of God, is going to become a den for jackals, a hangout for creatures of the dark.
Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting. The language used to describe the judgment on Jerusalem, a dwelling of jackals, is almost word for word the same language used for the judgment on pagan Babylon, the ultimate enemy, a place so cursed that goat demons shall dance there. Suddenly, in its punishment, Jerusalem starts to look exactly like the evil empire it was supposed to oppose.
All right, let's recap. We've got a people partnering with demons. We've got a land that physically reflects that demonic corruption. Now we're ready to build the bridge. To connect all this back to that central mystery in Revelation, we need to define that key term, the abyss. Okay, so in Revelation, the Greek word is abyssos. And every time it's used, it means one thing and one thing only. It's the prison for demons and fallen angels. It's the ultimate well of evil. It's the launch pad for the beast.
But, and this is the absolute crucial piece of the puzzle, this idea of the abyss wasn't new. John didn't just invent it for Revelation. Turns out that exact same word was already being used to describe a judged Israel centuries earlier in the Greek version of the Old Testament.
And boom, here it is. This is the smoking gun. You're looking at Psalm 71. It's a prayer from the nation of Israel when they are at their lowest point, judged in exile.
And how do they describe their situation? They say they are in the abysses of the earth. Do you see it? The nation itself, because of its own rebellion, spiritually put itself in the exact same place that Revelation says the beast comes from.
Okay, let's lay out the evidence. Clue number 1, demonic worship. Clue number 2, the land becomes a demonic wasteland. Clue number 3, the nation itself identifies as being in the abyss. We have everything we need. It's time to go back to Revelation 11 and crack this case wide open.
Now, remember those curses from the Old Testament? Okay, fast forward to Revelation 11. What are God's two prophets doing to Jerusalem? They stopped the rain for 3.5 years. They are literally bringing that curse from Hosea to life, turning Jerusalem into that cursed dry land, that demonic haunt we were just talking about.
So what happens when the beast finally shows up and kills these messengers from God? How do the people in Jerusalem react? They throw a party. They literally celebrate and give each other presents. I mean, their reaction says it all, doesn't it? They are completely on the same team as the evil thing that just murdered God's prophets. They wanted them gone, and the beast was just an extension of their own will.
So you can see the chain reaction, right? Step 1, they invite demons in through their worship. Step 2, their land physically transforms into a desolate haunt. Step 3, the nation itself spiritually becomes an earthly version of the abyss. And step 4, the final logical outcome, a beast rises, not from outside, but from within that abyss they created for themselves.
So when you follow all these breadcrumbs that Scripture leaves for you, the conclusion is, well, it's pretty undeniable. The beast from the abyss isn't an outside invader. It's not some foreign army or a monster from another dimension. It is the ultimate manifestation, the final product of apostate Jerusalem's own demonic rebellion.
And that right there, that's the truly terrifying part of all this. The holy city, the one place that was supposed to be the gateway to heaven, the place where God and humanity met, it becomes the very gate of hell. And the beast that comes out of it, that's the final horrifying proof.
So that leaves us with one last massive question to chew on. If the ultimate evil doesn't come from some far-off enemy, but can actually rise up from the very heart of what was once the most holy place on earth, what does that tell us about the nature of the final battle? What does that reveal about how good things become corrupted?